Elon Musk pledged to start a political party. He is already pumping the brakes. You know, it's really funny. Like, I noticed like a week ago, you ever have that thing where like, okay, you had something on your mind a while ago and then it kind of slipped your mind for a while, and then you think about, oh yeah, I wonder whatever happened with that. I thought to myself a few days ago, whatever happened with Elon's party? Because usually, you announce a party, you then build on it. It
Then you
requires a
send out
lot
a
of work.
guest list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does require a lot of work to start a third party. Even if you have a lot of money, you still need to assemble a team of people who want to do it, and it is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of man hours. So he's already pumping the brakes. Let's see. Here's a report from the Wall Street Journal. They had the exclusive on this. They've been on fire lately, getting a lot of exclusives from
Yeah.
Epstein, from Elon, right? The
Yep.
billionaire Elon Musk is quietly pumping the brakes on his plans to start a political party, according to people with knowledge of his plans. Musk has told allies that he wants to focus his attention on his companies and is reluctant to alienate powerful Republicans by starting a third party that could siphon off GOP voters. Oh, got cold feet. Sheepdog Elon. Sheepdog Elon, as we're going to start calling him. Musk's posture marks a shift from early last month when he said he would form what he called the America Party to represent U.S. voters who are unhappy with the two major political parties. As he has considered launching a party, the Tesla chief executive officer had been focused in part on maintaining ties with Vice President JD Vance. PayPal Mafia sticks together, am I right? Who is widely seen as a potential heir to the MAGA political movement. Musk has stayed in touch with Vance in recent weeks, and he has acknowledged to associates that if he goes ahead with forming a political party, he would damage his relationship with the vice president, the people said. Musk and his associate have told people close to him that he's considering using some of his vast financial resources to back Vance if he decides to run for president in 2028, some of the people said. Musk spent close to $300 million to support Trump and other Republicans in the 2024 election. Musk's allies said he hasn't formally ruled out creating a new party and could change his mind as the midterm elections near. But Musk and his team haven't engaged with many prominent individuals who have voiced support for the idea of a new party or could be a crucial resource to help it get off the ground, including by assisting with getting on the ballot in crucial states. His associates canceled a late July call with an outside group that specializes in organizing third-party campaigns, according to a person with direct knowledge of the matter. Participants were told that the meeting was canceled because Musk wanted to focus on running his businesses, the person said. Musk and his spokeswoman didn't respond to requests for comment. Remember that in a few moments. Well, this came as great news to Charlie Kirk, who reports Elon Musk is reportedly reconsidering his bid to launch a third party and instead put his support behind Vice President JD Vance should he decide to run, per a new report from the Wall Street Journal. We'll have to wait for confirmation from Elon, but this would be very positive news for the country if true. Nick Fuentes says, oh, so that's why Elon Musk was calling me a Fed last week. Now it all makes sense. Yeah, people have been noticing something's fishy on X here. So Sean King reports in the middle of the night, Elon Musk deleted every single tweet I've made about the Israeli pedo Tom Alexandrovich that was arrested in Las Vegas for sex crimes against children. All of them. Every retweet, every link to my articles, gone. In response to that, Israel Exposed reports X has been quietly deleting war crime videos without notification or flagging the posts like this, which is strange because you know what we always said about Elon and X? We would have said for all of Elon's faults and for all of X's faults, you could find those kinds of disturbing videos of Israeli war crimes on Twitter, where you certainly couldn't find them on Instagram or Facebook or really any other online platform, not TikTok. So Unusual Whales tweets out Elon Musk reportedly eases off plans for a new political party, Wall Street Journal says. Now, Elon denied to comment on the Wall Street Journal piece. They reached out to him and they declined to comment. But he did comment on the Unusual Whales tweet. He says, nothing Wall Street Journal says should ever be thought of as true. Well, it's interesting. You didn't tell them that. You didn't deny it when they reached out for comment. You simply ignored it.
Well, they got him between ketamine binges.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. For Vance, keeping Musk on his side could prove to be pivotal for his potential presidential ambitions In 2024, Musk's political action committee, America PAC, spent millions in battleground states such as Pennsylvania to help Trump win. Asked for comment, a spokesman for Vance pointed to an interview the vice president did this month with the Gateway Pundit, a conservative website. In the interview, Vance said it would be a mistake to break with Trump and the conservative movement. So my hope is that by the time of the midterms, he's kind of come back into the fold, Vance said. So here's the video of that
relationship right now with the Trump White House. Though my argument to Elon is like you're not going to be on the left, right? Even if you wanted to be, and he doesn't, they're not going to have you back. That ship has sailed. And so I really think it's a mistake for him to try to break from the president. So my hope is that by the time of the midterms, he's kind of come back into the fold. But yeah, I don't know that he would take my call right now about anything.
Really?
I'm sure he would. I kid. I'm sure he would take my call. But obviously, the drama around him and the White House over the last couple of months. Again, my hope is that just kind of cools down a little bit because he did help us a lot in the election. The president even says
it was great.
He's kind of like the Michael Tracy of the Republican Party right now. You know, people really want him around.
He's just trolling.
He's kind of on the outs.
Nobody knows if he means it or not.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Frustration. Elon was a very, very critical part of the team last election, and so my hope is by the midterms things are kind of back to normal.
Right.
Yeah.
That would
we'll
be
see.
nice.
We'll see.
I was going to ask that question. Now I don't have
well,
to.
That's right. You know, knock on wood. I'm always, my attitude is I try to be sort of pretty Big Ten about this stuff. Like if you're patriotic, you're not trying to stick your knife.
If you have a lot of money, I mean, if you're patriotic, you know, then we kind of like to keep you in the fold.
In the back
if
of
you're
the
part of the
president, you're not
PayPal
trying to betray
mafia.
the movement. I don't care about these like minor little disagreements and issues. We have to kind of win with the whole movement together. And that's kind of the attitude that I try to take.
Yeah, and by the whole movement, he of course means the whole PayPal mafia here. Peter Thiel's proteges, a common thread runs through Trump's tech team. Yeah, Vance is integral to this. You can see him on the left side of that diagram.
They all flew on the plane. Is that the
Yeah,
common thread?
That could be a common thread. Who knows? I mean, that very well could be like what do they call them? Like hazing rituals, you know, where you're doing a fraternity, right? You got to do something crazy so they know they can trust you. Yeah, could be. Of course, Peter Thiel, the center of that circle.
She told me she was 18, I swear.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, you never know. But Vance, we always said, you know, the reason Trump picked Vance is because Vance really is the liaison between this tech world and MAGA, and that played a huge part in Trump's victory. And I think JD Vance is correct to think that he would lean pretty heavy on not just Elon, but on this whole web of people should he run in 2028. Now, 2028 is light years away. My hunch is that this Republican Party is not going to be very popular by then. But then again, neither will the Democrats. So anything is possible.
They're still less popular than the Republicans.
Yeah, exactly.
But nonetheless, they win on the generic ballot.
The Democrats still win on the generic ballot, even though they're less popular, right? How do you figure that? That's the old roll of the dice. Same reason. I mean, Trump had higher negatives than Clinton did in 2016, and he still won because he was, well, at least it's not this. You know, Democrats are going to get the at least it's not this vote in 2026 and probably 2028 as well.
The Democrats really, literally at this point, represent absolutely nothing. I can't remember a time when the Democrat Party was as nebulous ideologically as it is now. Like I can't even say it stands for like neoliberalism. It just stands for not being the Republicans. It's just been boiled down to that raw essence.
Yeah, and barely, because as we'll see in our next story, some Democrats are trying to win over Republican votes to beat progressives. Others who support the idea, meaning who support the America Party, haven't heard from Musk. Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban endorsed the idea of Musk's new political party after the Tesla CEO made his July announcement. Cuban told the Journal in a recent email that he hasn't spoken to Musk or his team about the new party. Some of Musk's own political advisors haven't had conversations with the Tesla CEO or his inner circle about helping him form a political party, according to a person with direct knowledge of the matter. Veterans of Republican political campaigns said Musk would have trouble hiring the network of GOP advisors that he relied on during the 2024 election as he spent millions to boost Trump. If those same advisors helped him establish a party, the Republicans said, they would risk permanently damaging their relationship with Trump and his allies. Yeah, no shit. And that was always going to be one of the major barriers towards this America party getting off the ground. So my first theory when I heard this is that I am the political cooler because, when Elon said he was launching this, my reaction was great. Go Elon, go. The more chaos we can put into the electoral system, the better. I was all for it. But what did I say at the time? I said I'd be surprised if this actually comes together because, it's one thing to be the world's richest man. It's one thing to have the resources to put together something. It's another thing to actually staff it and make it run. And at the end of the day, politics, as much as politics has been corrupted by big money is still not a substitute for political action. You still need the boots on the ground to go and get the signatures and get the ballot access state by state, jurisdiction by jurisdiction. It takes a lot of work. Now, if you have a ton of money, you can hire people to do that work. That's where the advantage comes in. But you still have to hire people to do that work. It still takes a big commitment, which I don't think Elon really has. Now he wants to go back to doing what he did before, July of 2024. That's the other thing. He wasn't like a years-long veteran of the Trump campaign. He joined in the home stretch of the 2024 campaign cycle. And yeah, in his case, he would have been relying on a lot of people who are already in the Republican network, which means in order for this to get off the ground, he'd have to give that money to people who are willing to burn their bridges entirely and permanently with the Republican Party. And if these are career political operatives that he maybe had access to because of his immense wealth, you still have to get them to say, okay, I'm going to abandon my life's work of rising within the ranks of the GOP and take a flyer on this drug addict, to put things very plainly. Like, he doesn't scream stability in the way that, like, you would risk your entire career to take a flyer on Elon Musk's new third party. And so I always sensed that he would either lose interest or just not be able to pull together all of the moving parts. And it seems like that has happened. And in addition to that, Vance is PayPal Mafia. Elon is PayPal Mafia. These tech guys stick together. That is the real agenda. It's not the MAGA agenda. It's the PayPal Mafia presidency, as Whitney Webb writes. And so for those reasons, it's not terribly surprising that this America party seems to be fizzling out before it starts.
Yeah, when you just look at this fighting among them, this is why I always compare it to the French nobility. For the voters to be looking at this and thinking it really has anything to do with improving their lives, that's the peasant mind, man. This is internecine fighting among elites at a moment when there are too many elites and not enough positions. As I mentioned, I've been reading Peter Turchin, and I think he nails that. Even if you look at what's going on with the DEI, I can't remember the name of the writer. There was a journalist who did a great article about how a lot of the critical theory stuff was actually a way of creating new jobs for the children of the elites in an environment where they need new jobs, they need a whole new field in order, and you create DEI departments. It was a way of giving jobs to their excess elites. If you look at a lot of what the Trump people are doing, it's in keeping with that vision. Okay, so they're dismantling the new jobs for the children of their enemies, and they're creating new jobs for their own, which tend to be oriented around censorship of the kind that they like, creating a security state infrastructure via ICE, which is more what they endorse. And whenever you have this kind of mass suffering, it's always easier to pitch people on the idea of revenge and it's somebody's fault and we're going to make things really good for you. And what does that usually mean at best? It means you're going to be the Rottweilers for the elites, right? We're going to make you cops. We're going to make you soldiers. We're going to make you enforcers of our will and our interests, and they sell that to the peasants as empowerment and opportunity. But really what's ultimately going on behind the scenes is a fight between two wings of plutocracy. The idea of defending democracy. Anyone who talks to you in terms of defending democracy, you should immediately not trust, because they're selling you something. There is no democracy. There's nobody who has spent any time studying these questions or swimming in those waters who actually believes we have a democracy. If they tell you they're doing what they're doing for democracy, automatically can dismiss them as a liar and a con artist with an agenda that they need you to support.
Please clap.